Right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to More Dreaming, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Cynthia Smith. I'm from Sercante, and I will be moderating today's session. Before we get started, I have a few just housekeeping items to cover. If you've been tuning in, you've probably heard this over the last few days. But one, our sessions are recorded, and they will be available on demand after the event. We will also be following up via email, so you will have a chance to get the recordings that way. Also, if you have a question during today's session, we ask that you please post it in the Q&A tab that you can see up on the upper right-hand side. Also, please use chat. We want this to be interactive. We want to hear from you, so feel free to drop in where you're tuning in from or just say hi to the team. Also, you'll see that we have a few items already posted in chat to get us started today. There is a hyperlink for a test form if you guys want to get that filled out as well. And then also just some questions if you want to, kind of like a poll, not a live poll, but you can respond to those via chat as well. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'd like to introduce you to our speaker today. This is Sab from Cloud Kettle. He has an awesome session prepared for us, talking all about maximizing B2B MA campaigns using things like external actions and Google Analytics 4. So, Sab, I will pass it over to you and get started.
Thank you, Cynthia, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Sab. We'll get started. Thank you for all our sponsors. Without you, it wasn't possible. And thank you for everyone who was involved. I know it's a busy day for everyone. Thank you for joining. So before we start, there's a question. There's a kind of link in the hyperlink. This is going to be a little bit interactive demo. If you would like to see how your data actually going to back to Google Analytics through Salesforce, we will do it in a demo session. Just to go over the agenda, we are going to review data model. If you are new to GA4, I know it was July 1st when the Universal Analytics stopped working and we had to use a GA4 moving forward. We will go over the data model. We will discuss the integration framework, how this integration works, like what we need to kind of put together. And we will go items that you have to go through an account engagement to get the data to GA4. And at the end, I'm hoping that time permits, we are going to go real life use cases. One thing I'm aiming from this call that after this call, you can go actually check the guide I have and check the video, go configure this for yourself because it's really important. This was an expensive integration a few years back. Now with this account engagement app extension, it's free available to you. So you can go start using today. It will take some time to kind of configure things, but everything you need will be provided to you. Just to get started about the data model, kind of what's the difference between GA4 and Universal Analytics? GA4 is driven by events. And everything that you do, a prospect is doing on a website is tracked by event. So if they come, do the page view, it's like they land on the home page, it's tracked as a first visit. It's the first time they're visiting your website. If they click on a link, it's tracked as an event. So everything that's on GA4 around events. So there's no more heat, page view heat, and different kind of metrics that you used to have in Universal Analytics. Everything is under events. And when it comes to events, there are two type events in GA4 as of today, default and custom events. And default events are tracked by default. So for example, page view, if someone clicks, it's tracked. First visit, those are the events that automatically will trigger from from your website and goes to the GA4 server when a user lands to your page. But there are also custom events. For example, by default, if you have an account engagement form, whenever someone submits the form, it's not tracked. Especially if you are using an iframe form, that will not be tracked. It's something that you have to configure. And that's called a custom event. And this is something that we are going to use today. So we are going to leverage custom event to send the offline conversion from Salesforce back to GA4. And the couple of more items, there's no traditional dimensions. If you configured your conversion tracking in Universal Analytics, you may kind of work with the event action, event category, event label. As far as I remember, I almost forget about them. But no longer. In GA4, you have a user parameters. and event parameters, and you have up to 25 parameters. So what does it mean? If you're sending one custom event, then you can attach additional 25 signals. For example, if you are saying that, hey, my form is submitted, you can configure your website in a way that you can append which resource the user downloaded, where they came from. Like, you don't want it because it's in Google Analytics. For example, you can append what's their lead tier in CRM. So there are so many custom dimensions that you can, like 25 custom dimensions that you can add. It's pretty enough. And the last but not least, it improves cross-platform and device user tracking. What I mean by that is you're able to push user ID to GA4 when, for example, you have a SaaS platform and user logs in, and you're able to tell GA4 that, hey, this is the user ID. Anything that person is doing on the website, append to this user ID. And the person goes to the mobile, you have a mobile version, mobile app of your product, and you can still expose that user ID and track. So what this allows you, if you have the same person tracked both on the website and on the mobile device, on any platform where you can expose the user ID, it's going to be tracked. So kind of let's jump in how kind of give this some visualize this. You have your website, and from your website, you will use Google Tag Manager to send your default and custom events. And for example, page view, this event goes to Google Analytics server, but you can also trigger offline conversion from CRM. That's kind of the topic we are going to discuss, like how we can trigger this offline custom events. And from there, everything goes to create as an event, and the event parameters are appended, and everything's stored in GA4 storage. And from there, you can have a standard reports, and you can create your own custom report within the Google Analytics. But the other benefit is you can get data with GA4 something. There's a kind of built-in integration with BigQuery. You can expose that data to BigQuery, and from BigQuery, you can get the Tableau, CRMA. Depending on the platform, there's like kind of configuration you have to make. But all the data you capture from your website and that coming from CRM as well, you can get to the BigQuery from the CRM. We are not going to cover the BigQuery the Tableau section today, but it might be another topic for a different session. Let's dive into Salesforce GA4 integration framework. By the way, we are going to demo all the items that we discussed. Like, we are going to start to finish all the things that we kind of highlight here. We will see live in the demo. What happens, of course, you have to use your account engagement form to capture prospect data. Either you have a page on your website that captures the request demo or contact us form. So we have this, we need to have this account engagement forms to gather this information. Then the leverage, we are going to leverage account engagement marketing app extensions. And this is the one of the things I'm really excited, because I've been using lots of marketing automation platforms throughout the last 10 years, I will say. And account engagement kind of lack this API integration. Like, I'm not talking about the API version where you can kind of through API push and pull data, but I'm talking more about within a platform, within a UI, you weren't able to make any external calls. So you weren't able to kind of in a simple way try to connect a webhook and make external call. But with this account engagement external actions, you're able to configure that and make external API call, and actually sometimes listen to the response and then do something there. So that's what we are leveraging today. And we are going to leverage Engagement Studio to make external calls from account engagement, depending what we would like to push back to GA4, what kind of offline data from Salesforce we would like to get GA4. And everything is possible through a measurement protocol. Measurement protocol is some kind of, I would call it a capability of GA4. Previously, it was available, but it wasn't like really secure way. In a Universal Analytics, if someone can access your measurement protocol detail, they were able to send some dummy data to your servers, and it will kind of mess up your data. But with the new version, you need to have the kind of measurement secret key that will be unique to you, and no one can kind of use it. Again, let's go over that framework. How does it work? Is user comes and requests demo. Behind the scenes, we are going to configure our forms to capture client ID, session ID, and timestamp. Why do we need this information? Client ID is something tracks the user. So when a prospect comes to your website, that person will get assigned a client ID. Actually, you will see yourself this information. You can see this information by going to kind of console log. And on top of that, we need to have a session ID. So when we send the offline data back to Google server, we can say that, hey, this person submitted the form and became a marketing qualified or turned out to be a disqualified prospect or lead. So that's why we need a kind of session ID time step. Next, the person requested demo. We went to account engagement database. We have their first name. Again, client ID is something we are going to store in account engagement. Then your BDR or sales team comes and makes the marketing qualified. So now the account engagement, by using the marketing app extensions and engagement studio, we are going to tell back to GA4, you know, like 10 people, one person came from paid ad. Actually, that person may not be is disqualified. So we are going to tell this information Google Analytics, and there are lots of benefits that we will cover at the end. So we will use the Engagement Studio to make that external action, and that the external action is going to leverage marketing app extensions. And at the end of the day, everything is going to end up in Google Analytics, where we are going to create audiences, analyze everything, and then create our funnels, see our form submissions, and who have been marketing qualified, best performing channels. Again, that's a kind of sneak peek. We're going to cover it at the end. So preparing for this integration, make sure you're comfortable with GA4. You know where to navigate. We are going to, over the demo, we are going to find the measurement ID, API secret key. We are going to set up our form to capture the client ID, session ID, time step. All those scripts available on a blog post on LinkedIn. I'm going to share that after this call as well. So we have to install the Salesforce GA4 integration package. What does it do actually behind the scenes? Creates a name, credential, and invocable action. That's what's being used in external action. But again, on the GitHub page, we have a step-by-step instructions to enable this. And if you, this is a free package. If you're stuck somewhere or if you have additional questions, you can always connect on LinkedIn and ask questions. And of course, once we install it, we are going to implement marketing app with new external action. Just before jump on a demo part, so I'm going to show a landing page, and company says next data. It's a fictitious company. That company doesn't exist. We're just using it. Actually, I'm using it to do some kind of community demos. So any data that entered to database, if you filled out the form already, it's going to wipe later, and we cannot send any emails from a demo org. So feel free to enter a dummy org. But my aim is that once we go to demo section, and then when we check the Google Analytics, we'll be able to see, and then if you are marketing qualified or disqualified based on the changes I will make. Okay. Let's jump on. We will start with a kind of landing page, and we will go back to. So I'm going to share back my full window, so we can, instead of jumping back and forward, we can do. So we have this demo page that we shared already. Right now, you only have a business email field, but behind the scenes here, you have additional fields, which will go and kind of make it visible in a second. So if I go to, let's start. So to start with, so on our form, we need to capture client ID, session ID, and time step. So we are going to create those fields, and this is standard text field, nothing fancy. If you want, you can map it to Salesforce or not, but it's going to be standard text fields that we will create. Okay, so we have a client ID, session ID, time step. Next, we will go and configure our forms. We can go here for this specific event. I created a Marjorie demo request. Let's go there and edit form. Let's go next. Right now I have a hidden, but I'm just going to make it visible. Let's make it text. Text here. If you are filling out the form right now, when you fill out the form, you will see that values automatically populated, and it's enabled by JavaScript that we have on the page. It will automatically grab the user's client ID from the browser, their session ID, and at the same time, time step. Let's go next. So we have...
Sab, we have a quick question.
Sure, go ahead.
We have someone asking if this can be done with form handlers, or is this strictly for Pardot embedded forms?
It can be done form handler, but you have to talk your web team to capture client ID, client session ID, GA4 session ID, and timestamp. So the main goal is here, regardless what you do, you need to get that information to account engagement, because we will use this client ID, session ID, timestamp to make a call to GA4 server. Like whatever data we would like to get from Salesforce. And yes, form handler is possible, but your web team will be involved. The sample that I'm going to share and the script I'm going to kind of grab from the post is only applicable for embedded forms, but your web team can easily analyze the code, adapt the form handler, and it shouldn't be that complicated. Maybe in the future I will do the form handler, but since more account engagement users, companies, or I would say the admins, they're using embedded forms, this is designed for iframe forms, but the same approach applies for form handler too. Again, end goal is to get this information to account engagement. So we go next. There's a couple of small scripts available here, and then I will just navigate back to this blog post, the LinkedIn post I published. So this is the first script, exactly what you see on this page. The only change that I made is I updated domain. So it's important. So you have your own domain. So it says your domain. Make sure you go and update that. Before we move forward, I just missed one step I want to highlight. When you go to for each field, you will see the class name. Okay. There's multiple ways you can target a specific field, but the best way for embedded forms is just have the add a class, and this JavaScript file that the kind of code you have, it directly looks for that field, the class, and any field under the class is going to auto-populate that. Okay, so like for each of these fields, I have this CSS class. Go here as well. Okay, so what we did so far, we added fields. Go to look and feel. We copy pasted the code from this page. This is the exact same code. And here. So we do this, go next. This is not part of the session, but if you attended, I had an event with Bellamonte about kind of your account engagement form GA4 integration. This is part of that. This kind of lets you send a signal to the GA4 that form is submitted. But again, I'm just showing that just if you see the script here, that's why we have it. Okay, so we just go confirm and save. So we configured our form. Next, we have to configure our landing page. So let's go here, edit landing page, and I would like to select form. So we are going to select the form we just created. Content layout, that's the template I already have here. And next, so I kind of try to replicate what will be on your real environment. So we are doing the same as it will be on your website. We grab the iframe code and add on the page. So what you will see, this is your iframe code. I just added a div tag. There's one more script that we need to add. And again, you don't have to create that. It's here. The one thing that we need to update is make sure that you have your measurement ID. I will show in a second where you can grab it. Okay. So if I go back, that's the same script. We updated this line without the G at the beginning. We can save it. You don't have to change anything on your website, on the page, and we can say confirm and save. Okay, this is the step one. So we configured our form that we can capture the client ID, client secret. Let's go do a quick demo. Okay, so I'm going to refresh this page. Okay, so we have a client ID, session ID, GA4 timestamp. So that script that we just added automatically grab the client ID and grab the session ID, and then GA4 timestamp will be automatically populated when I submit the form. So if I go here, grab this kind of dummy record and say request demo. Okay, now this prospect is kind of in our prospect database. So if I go back here, actually, let me go back to the form. Form submission, scroll down. Yes, it's here. let's leave it here because we will come back and make a change. Actually, yeah, let's leave it. Let's wait for the prospect to sync to Salesforce. And thank you. I think quite a few people submit the form. Thank you. I will pick few of them and then sync over and make a marketing qualified in a second. So when you install the package, there are a couple of things that you have to do in your instance. You will have a name credential that you need to update. This is the URL that kind of sends a signal together with the JSON to Google Analytics server. We have an API secret and measurement ID, and I will show you where you can grab it. So let's go to navigate back to our Google Analytics. This is your typical Google Analytics UI GA4. We can go to admin. We're at admin right now. Here you are going to select data streams. You may have multiple data streams, but let's say we are only having for our dummy account. Again, don't use these numbers in your kind of if you are testing it, because it's not going to work and you're not going to send data. But this is the measurement ID I created, and you can come here. It says measurement protocol API secret, and you can create your own version and then just like make sure you give a proper nickname, because there might be some other measurement the protocol API secrets that you have to generate in the future, so you know where it's coming from. Okay, so we did this. So when you do that, name credential we have here. You will create a marketing app extension. It's a standard process. If I go back here, let's go back. Okay, so you can create a marketing app. I'm not going to create because I don't want to override the settings, but you're going to create your app extension. Make sure you give a description, make it active with automations. Come back to, once it's created, on a related list, you are going to add a new integration, and it's going to look like exact list. The only thing that you have to select is invocable action. And when an invocable action, you are going to select GA invocable action. And that's going to dictate what information we are going to enter on an Engagement Studio external action. Once you enable it, if it does, the couple of kind of issues that may happen, you may forget to assign a business unit. So make sure you assign a business unit, because every time you create an app extension, it has to be assigned to a business unit to show up in Engagement Studio. Okay. Cool. So we did this, and let's go back, actually do a couple of demos. So I'm going to select, Sean, I see you're listening to Salesforce. Let's go there. Let's do a couple of changes. And I'm just going to make Sean. I'm just going to make your last name Mark Dreaming. And I'm going to just change the company. So let's make it marketing qualified. Okay. So let's save it. It will take some time to go through the Engagement Studio program, but I'm hoping that by the end of the session, we will have few. So Jenny, I'm going to kind of make you as well. Let's make the marketing qualified. Details. And I'm hoping that you entered your fake email. If not, that's fine. Damn it. Okay, let's also make it marketing qualified and save it. So let's go back and see what's happening in the Google Analytics site. So what we did so far, we configured our form, we configured our app extension, and let's go have a look on actually Engagement Studio program, how it works, and we will come back. So this is Engagement Studio program. The information that you send from Salesforce, it's up to you. So I am pushing marketing qualified list, disqualified list, but you can get any data you want from Salesforce to account engagement. The event name is absolutely up to you. So what I am using here, I have a dynamic list called marketing qualified lists. So every time lead status is marketing cloud and the marketing qualified and client ID is not empty, I would like to send those data points to Salesforce. Sorry, GA4 from Salesforce. But you can also do this for disqualified. If you are doing an ABM, you can send you, like, I don't know, if you have a target 100 account, you can send that information to Google Analytics. So if you are doing, like, for example, it's like, hey, let me go have a look based on my account engagement tiers, what's the traffic conversion rate? And That information actually can be used later on Google Ads, create your audiences, depending on what data you push there. So the two examples I have here, we have disqualified leads and we have a marketing qualified leads. Why marketing qualified leads? Because we would like to see, okay, 100 people submit the form, but how many of them actually are marketing qualified? 10 of them. I would like to spend more money on those marketing qualified leads. We will come there in a second. We have like 20 minutes, so I should be able enough time to go over that. So let's go back to automations, and we have a marketing qualified leads, and let's have a look how that automation looks like. So we have settings here. This will be your actually, maybe I go create a new one. You know, that might be even better. Let's say PNG GA4 demo. I will select the same list. DL marketing qualified. You can select your any list you want. So let's say send all the time. And this is how it looks like. When you go to action, you are going to see Salesforce GA. So you may create multiple external actions using the same invocable action. But for this sample, I just have Salesforce GA for integration. Let's go here. You can use the HTML tag to get the information for client ID. This event name is up to you. You can enter anything you want here. You can use the HTML to automatically populate the session ID timestamp from the prospect record. And proper name and a value is additional information on top of the event name that you would like to send. Again, you can enter here, I don't know, target 100. So you will see this if there are people matching your target 100 list, and if they submit the form, then maybe not all of them you would like to send it back to, like identify target 100, you would like to send only some of them. So based on your kind of how you're targeting your audience. Okay. So you can put any event name you want. So if I go to the previous one, I'm just hoping that the leads that we had there processed. But let's have a look. Let's go here. We have 23. Not yet, but the one I submitted just before the session should be. So far, we configured our form. We looked at the app extensions. We looked at our engagement studio. Last piece, where all that data ends up. So, and that will be analytics. So one place that you will see, this is our real time. Anything that appears real time when you configure it for the first time, events may show up here, but not your standard reports. And the reason for that, it takes 24 hours for event to show up on the reporting data. And I see the people submitting all across North America. It's great. And everything is tracked, the form submit. Anyone who submit the form, we kind of send a signal to Google Analytics saying that, hey, form is submitted, even though it was an iframe. What we will be in a few seconds, and hopefully, is that you're going to see a couple of other events like marketing qualified that we triggered. And let's see what does it mean, like why it's important to have a marketing qualified. I will go over the dummy account, kind of dummy data that I have been adding to submitting a form. And so far I submitted, the forms. Let's see. I submitted, I believe, let's go to form submit. Yeah, I submitted 106 forms. That's good. So what we can see here is traffic acquisition. And we can also do the same thing for the user acquisition if you want to go like on a user level. We can have a look. Every time someone submits the form, we are sending a signal to Google Analytics, which is great. Let's say this is a form submit. So I can see that I have 106 people who submit the form, the prospects, and I can see the channels they are coming from. Exactly. So one thing, the challenge right now, unless you have like expensive attribution platforms, is that it's really hard to measure organic channels that bring traffic to your website. But with this one, you're able to do, because you're sending an event, and then Google Analytics kind of connects that session that it grouped, like the session that client ID with this form submit. So you're able to see that, hey, 14 people submit the form, and we have paid search 9, we have a paid other, but let's see actually how many of them are MQLs, like which channel, like I'm spending money this on paid social, I had 12 conversions, which is great. Am I getting good MQLs from there? Like, are they actually marketing qualified? And you can just do it and then say marketing qualified. So it's going to show you that, hey, you had 39 form submissions and you had 9 conversions, 9 marketing qualified leads. It's going to tell you like, oh, paid social, you had 12 form submissions and 0 like marketing qualified. Again, this is a dummy account. Once you have a big data, it's going to be like better analyzed, but just give you the kind of capability of this integration that you're able to see how many market qualified leads you generated from a specific channel. And this goes back. You can create another program that I created for disqualified. And let's go to disqualified and see. It's not showing here because it takes, I will show you in a second something. Once you enable something, it takes certain time to show up as a conversion. I enabled last night and it's not here, but you are also able to come here and then grab disqualified leads, and it's going to show you how many disqualified leads you got from a channel. So you better know where you should invest kind of your ad spending. So that's one way looking at the data. But Google Analytics GA4 is part of the Google platform, and then you can create your audiences and push that to Google Ads. So let's go have a look how it looks like. So we can go to, so I have the open here. So I can create an audience in Google Analytics, and let's say, hey, include users when they are marketing qualified. So I have instead of targeting everyone who submitted the form, I can create a subset of users where they are only marketing qualified, and I can just target to them. So when you create your audience and you go back to your audiences in Google Ads, and here you go. The same audience that I created Google Analytics, it shows up here, marketing qualified. So you can have your audience disqualified that you can exclude from your ad. Even though they submit the form, you don't want to show additional display ads to those people. So you can use that as an exclusion list. You can have a marketing qualified. You can spend more money. You know that they're marketing qualified, but they haven't purchased yet. Together with this event, you can also send financial values as well, like maybe opportunity amount if you would like to send. That information can be also passed to Google Analytics. One thing, be careful though, whenever you are sending information to GA4 servers, you should never include any PI data. So maybe you want to include like, oh my God, can I send a person's email address to GA4 so I know exactly which channels, what they did, I can look at the funnel? No. GA4, Google Analytics in general, doesn't allow you the PI data. And if they know that you are pushing a PI data, they may cancel your account without even letting you know. So that's something to be careful, that kind of diligent about. So that's the one way that we looked at, hey, I had from organic social, 72 people came, 39 submitted the form, but I got 9 MQLs. Again, based on information, you can say, you know what? The best performing channel for me actually is organic social. Let me go spend more money or allocate more budget for organic social so we can create more content that people can find us on LinkedIn and on X and Facebook, etc. But you can also look at, since you have this event data, there's a multiple ways you can analyze. And one of the ways you can create your own sample funnel demo. For example, you can say that, hey, the people visited my, the first, they came on X page, on my homepage, went to the demo page, and how many marketing qualified people I have from that path. So you're able to create a closed and open funnel where you can tell us like, hey, this is a step 1 that I am expecting the user to do. This is step 2, what I'm expecting user to do, and step 3. And based on those steps, what's the conversion rate? And then here we are looking at the user medium, but you can also go and check that by country, device category. This is a custom funnel report. You are able to create your own versions. I'm really recommending to go to Explore tab if you have access to Google Analytics. Go to Explore. You can create your funnel exploration report, and just start playing with kind of funnels. See step by step what happens when the user lands on your page till they leave your website. Cool. I'm just checking if I have anything else. Okay, so let's go back to the slides. We did a demo, kind of used to go over kind of use cases. Again, based on a Salesforce data that you put the offline conversion back to GA4, you can decide which channel performing well for you, not by just form submit. So you don't have to go to your leadership then and say that, hey, we have the 50 form fields, but actually you can say that, hey, we're spending too much money on Google Display, but apparently LinkedIn social works better. So we have to spend money here, because you know exactly, because your main goal is that to get enough marketing qualified leads to your sales or your BTR team. And you can understand your journey that I showed, like the funnel of the customer. Again, one example that I showed is marketing and marketing qualified, disqualified, but you can put anything. If someone signs up for trial, what they did in trial, depending on their action. And if you are pushing that the trial data to Salesforce, BDRs have to qualify something. The result of qualification can go back to GA4, and then you can create like one step further in your funnel and to see what's happening. Get the behavior of the MQLs. Like if you would like to have a look, hey, my MQLs, maybe all the MQLs that I generated, if I look on a behavior, they are using mobile device. Maybe you have to upgrade your website to be more mobile friendly, because they're where your MQL is coming from. And the offline conversion to marketing effort, the enhanced accuracy of your attributing offline conversion to marketing efforts. Again, this holistic view, it really provides you, if you are just looking at your account engagement form data, or you are looking form submission, you are losing that visibility. Hey, the channel, what are the channels brings me marketing qualified leads? So you get this additional visibility on channels that's available to you. Because if someone comes to your website, submits a form today, most likely if you are using UTMs, you will be able to capture if they're coming paid, you can capture. If you are doing some content syndication, you are able to capture that from by UTMs. But you are missing this critical organic search data. And pushing this form submissions, marketing qualified, any custom event in Salesforce, you can visualize that funnel end to end in GA4. I think this was the last slide. I know I had to go a little bit faster, but all the slides that were presented here, like anything I presented here, it's available on a LinkedIn post. We have a GitHub page where we have the kind of installation link for the package. You can follow step by step. I try to my best to include like every single detail there, but still, if you get stuck somewhere, feel free to reach out to LinkedIn. Again, this is a community product. We created this for community, and I'm more than happy to come to kind of jump on and figure out like what did you do wrong, or if there's anything that needs to be fixed on your end. I think we have 7 minutes for questions if anyone has any.
Yeah, so Sab, we did have one question in the Q&A. When we were talking about the forms, someone was asking if we had to use a Pardot landing page with that Pardot form.
No. The reason I use the Pardot landing page is just like demonstrate that where like you can add the iframe form. You don't have to use a Pardot landing page. The script that we have there, you can grab it, add in your website. Because on the Pardot landing page, I actually use the iframe form. This will be the same iframe form you will use on your website. So it's for demo purposes and not to kind of jump over between websites. I try to show it through the landing page.
Excellent. Okay, so we have another question coming in. Let's say I create a custom audience with marketing qualified leads so that I can target those people via Google Ads. What happens when the lead gets disqualified? Will that audience be updated? You
can have another audience to disqualified lead. It's going to be just your segmentation list, and you can say, hey, when you create your audience, is that everyone marketing qualified minus disqualified. So you can create that audience, and then it's going to remove from marketing qualified list. But that will be something that you will configure when you build your audience.
Anyone have, and Sean said thank you. Does anyone have other questions before we wrap up for today?
I can share the link. I see a couple of comments there. They're kind of expecting the link. Let me just grab it and share it in a window since we have time. Let's go copy link, and I will just go. This is the link of the LinkedIn post. Then it includes all the scripts that I kind of share on the call, and I'm also posting the GA4 link here on the channel. Again, if you have any question, feel free to reach out. Previously, this was an expensive product. I don't want to kind of put the names right now. This was an expensive product. I mean, I will say a 6-figure price tag. It was an expensive product that wasn't available. And with GA Universal Analytics transition from Universal to GA4, that stopped working. And this is a good opportunity for you to implement and then get additional visibility on your funnel in GA4. Cool. Okay. We have 3 more minutes. I'll stay here. But if you have any questions, feel free. Anyone? I'm more than happy to answer.
Yeah. Otherwise, I will say thank you. Thank you, Sab. We appreciate it. It was a great session. Just so that you know, there are a few more sessions left today. Today's our final day of Mar Dreaming. So check out the agenda to see what is upcoming. Also, a shout out to our sponsors. We wouldn't be able to host Mar Dreaming without them. So thank you to those sponsors.
Cool.
Okay. I'm not seeing any other questions come through. As mentioned, please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and exit the stage.
Sure. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take care. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.